is a great house.
Thank you. We've lived here for 3 years. We have a 10-month-old, but we're also expecting another baby.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We have 4 bedrooms total, but we don't need all 4. So we want to turn this bedroom into a dining room. I have my great-grandmother's table that my husband refinished, and we needed a place to showcase it. But the problem is that we have only this one light switch for this light.
Okay.
And then to turn this other one on, you have to go all the way around the table just to come over here. So it's not great.
Got it. So you're looking at a couple of floor lamps trying to light this room up, and it's just not adequate for what you're looking for.
Absolutely.
Got it.
So we want to put an overhead light. We'd like to put a chandelier over our table.
Okay, I think we can do that. Let me grab some tools, take a look at what we have, and we'll go from there.
Awesome, great, thank
Thanks.
you.
So let me show you what we have. The first thing we did was we turned power off to the circuit. Then we pulled the receptacle out of the wall to see what we have for wiring. We have 2 wires in this configuration. One is providing you with constant power. That's feeding this lower portion of the receptacle. The second one is being used as what's called a switch leg. So what they would do is they'd send power up one wire, up our wall, over to our switch. And when you turn the switch on, it lets power come back over and make the top half of this receptacle live.
Okay.
That's how you're able to turn the lamp on when you walk in and flip the switch. What we're going to do is we're going to use that wire, reuse the switch leg, and we're going to make it a constant feed. That way we have constant power in that box for the switch. By doing that, we're going to replace this receptacle to make this receptacle constant power as well.
Okay.
And then we're going to take a new wire out of this switch, up the wall, over to where our new ceiling light's going to go.
Okay.
So what we want to do next is figure out where the ceiling light's going to go. In this case, the table's going to dictate that. So we put a little tape in the middle so we can mark the center of the table. So now what we're going to do is we're going to mark the ceiling. And to do that, we're going to use a plumb laser. So this little guy will put a beam on the X we just made, and it'll put a dot on the ceiling to show us exactly where that light's going to go.
Okay.
All right, and now that we've made our mark on the ceiling, we're going to go ahead and use this rod to see what's up on that ceiling before we go ahead and drill a hole.
Okay.
Since most boxes that we're going to use are going to be a 4-inch diameter, and we're not sure which one we're going to use yet until we see what's up there, we're going to bend this to a little over 2 inches, maybe 2.5, just to give us some clearance. And then we're going to bend the other end in the same direction so we know which way it's pointing. Next, we're going to poke a small pilot hole where our mark is. And now we'll insert our tester that'll tell us what's up in this ceiling. So by spinning this, I can feel the resistance. And if you watch, we can see that we're stopping on a piece up there. That means we're up against the joist in this case. That's okay. That just tells us what's up there and to be careful when we drill.
Okay.
So it looks like what we have here is just a piece of strapping. We'll just finish cutting that out of the way, and then we'll work on installing our box. I'll remove the old switch and cut a second hole to allow us to fish the new wire from the fixture back to the switch. I put this piece of marker tape here to tell me I'm close to the hole, so you should be feeling something right about now.
Yep, I think I got it.
All right, just pull that right out. Perfect. Next, we're going to tie the wire on, and I'll pull it back towards me.
Okay.
Now that it's taped up, you're going to feed this end, and I'm going to pull it from this side. And there we go. We have our wire. I want to anchor our box to the structure, and since the hole in the center of the room falls between 2 joists, the best way to do that is using an old work fan brace. It feeds up through the hole, and as I twist it to expand its length, each end of the bracket has teeth that bite into the joist, securing it into the structure. The feet help keep the bar at the correct height off of the drywall. Once the bar is tightened, I can position the bracket mount over our hole and attach the box to it. We'll just align the box and bracket and secure with a couple of screws. By pulling our fixture wire down to the switch box, we can begin to rewire the switch. There we go. Perfect. For a metal box, we need to bond the ground wire directly to the box and to the switch. And next we're going to replace the receptacle. So as you can see, we have a ground screw, this green one for the ground wire. We have a couple of silver screws that would be for the neutral. And then we have 2 brass screws that are for the hot wire. And in this case, this is a complete receptacle that still has the tab intact, so you can actually just put 1 black wire to this, 1 feed, and it would feed both sides of this because it has that tab. And on yours, they broke the tab, which was good because they wanted constant power on one side and controlled by the switch on the other. So in this case, we're just going to put it back so both sides are constant power. All right, so this is the light fixture you chose? Mm-hmm. Great. So it looks like we have a little assembly to do. We'll just put the chain on, a couple of mounting points. We'll hang it on the ceiling and we'll take a look. All right, the power's on. Want to give it a shot?
Oh, it looks great.
It does look good.
I love it.
And we even put a dimmer in,
Okay.
so we can set the level.
Nice.
Wonderful. The other thing we did is when we had to cut the hole in the ceiling in order to get the wire down to the switch, we used a hole saw. The advantage to this is for us, we can put the patch back in the hole, and it's easier to fill and sand afterwards.
Okay.
Hopefully you guys can take care of that.
We can definitely handle that.
All right.
Thank you so much, Heath. It looks great. We love it.
Thank you.
Nice job, Heath, and you got your first ass segment underneath your belt.
We did, thanks.
So I got a question for you. When you took that feeler bit, you went up into the ceiling, and it ended up being a piece of strapping, which you could cut away.
Right.
Had it not been strapping, it had been the joist, for example, and you didn't want to cut it away, then what? New location?
No, it's perfectly fine. They make a box for every application. If that were the case, if we landed on the joist, we probably would have used something like this, a pancake box.
Oh, okay. And we can use this because?
Because it's shallow, so we can actually mount that directly to the joist. Had we landed right on it,
I see.
still would have held the fixture perfectly fine.
Thickness of the drywall right there?
Exactly.
Perfect. I love that. Solution for every problem.
And a couple of other things we ran into with this particular room is this is still treated as a bedroom. Even though we're using it as a dining room, it's legally a bedroom.
And so why does that matter?
The difference is the wiring that's typically in that room. So in a bedroom, we're going to have 14 gauge wire more times than not.
Yep.
This is allowed to run the receptacles and the lights, and it's pretty common to do it that way.
Tied in together.
Exactly.
Yep.
In a new dining room, you have to use 12 gauge wire, 20 amp circuit for the receptacles.
So a heavier load wire.
Correct.
Why is that? Because I usually think of this as something for the kitchen, not...
Treat the dining room like an extension of the kitchen. If you're entertaining, you got to bring crock pots, heating elements, that kind of thing in there.
Interesting. So did we have to switch to this wire in this case?
We didn't. So because it's still legally a bedroom,
Yeah.
we're able to take that 14 gauge wire, come out of the receptacle, go up to the switch and feed that light with the existing circuit.
Perfect. Good to know. All right. Thank you, Heath. Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.